Where are we? I was just about to take a smoke break, actually. Well, piss, I ran over my time. All right. It's always good to have things planned out ahead of time before you go live and you say, everybody, I got a lot of shit to say to you tonight. But, I forgot to take a smoke break. So, how much could you really pay attention to me? Hello. Oh, here we are. Out the back door already, though. Oh, my God. I mean, your man didn't even get here yet. Jesus Christ. I'm already going out the back door. What's going on? Man. I gotta stop it. Stop these. Look. These are messed up booty calls, love. These are messed up booty calls, love. I don't know what is going on here. All right. What's the theme of this one? I don't know. I forget what the theme was. Wait a minute. You do a live and you don't even know what the theme of the live is? Oh my God. How are you gonna get an advertising deal if you don't even know what the theme of your live is going to be? What's the matter with you? Well, there we go. Hang on now. We got to start the ceremony, love. All right, there we go. The candle is lit. You see it? It's the same one we've had for a while now with the mushrooms. All right. You didn't miss anything. All right. What do we got? Of course. Welcome, I am. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. I will pass that on to the other spirit master who makes these things for me. He likes that feedback as well. He does. He's the same person who, puts designs on the merchandise. So he likes that feedback quite a bit. And I will pass that on. Welcome, Lynn Champagne. Fancy meeting you here again. After what happened the last time. Oh, I can't believe you showed your face this time. After what you've done. Look, you took me up the Eiffel Tower. We had a beautiful moment up there. And then you just dropped me off the tower like I was a sack of potatoes. And then you have the nerve to call me up 2 days later and say, look, Stanley, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't mean to drop you off the Eiffel Tower. But I'm in town, and let's go meet at that place down the alley, and we'll get some really good, you know the French food that you like that. I'm like, well, how the fuck can I resist that? But you dropped me off the Eiffel Tower. I mean, how am I supposed to recover from that, Lynn? I mean, you just don't drop somebody off the Eiffel Tower and expect them to walk up the next day. I mean, you gotta give them some recovery time. I'm just saying. I mean, that's how it goes. Especially in Paris. All right. Hey, I love you. Don't forget. Welcome, Glenn. T1M. Mrs. John. Welcome, Mrs. John. Bob Weir passed away on Saturday. He passed away on December 10th. And on that particular day, the day before that, I just happened to show
Grateful Dead Bob Weir stuff, and I'm like, no, I better stop doing that. Because now that's the 4th predicted death. All right. Right? We predicted 4 deaths so far on this channel. The minute I start featuring an artist or like show Bob Weir, like doing his songs, that happens to be the night he dies. I better stop doing that shit. Right? Because I had no idea that he passed away until the 11th, which was the next day on Sunday. Gotta stop doing that. Freaky, it's synchronicity. That's all it is. It's called synchronicity. That's all it is, synchronicity. Welcome, satire. Lorraine, welcome, Lorraine. Welcome, satire. I take you seriously. I do. That's the thing about satire. People don't understand. Hey, this is an ode to satire. This is an ode to you, satire. You cannot. You have to, when we're talking about satire, there has to be a level of seriousness within satire. If there wasn't a level of seriousness when it comes to satire, well, then you're going to miss the point of the satire. If you can't appreciate the seriousness, right, of that thing that you're describing or looking at, right, if you don't appreciate the seriousness of it, well, then you're not going to understand the satire that happens to it. So, that's my ode to you, love. That's my ode to you. So, yeah, satire, absurdity, these things are serious, though. They are serious things, right? They are. That's a good point. That's all I want to say. I'm not belaboring, and I'm not lecturing. That's the last thing I'm doing is lecturing. All right. I'm not a lecturer. I'm an asshole, but I'm not a lecturer. But think about it, right, satire? Thank you. I think you know what I mean. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say there. Yeah, I think sometimes we get stuck on our name, and then people don't understand the other half of the name. Right? There's 2 sides to the name. And so you have to understand both sides to appreciate the name. You can't have comedy, right? You can't have comedy without drama. If there was no drama, there'd be no comedy. You wouldn't understand the difference between the 2 things. It would be some idiot standing on stage talking, right? And whatever's coming out of the idiot's mouth, it's going to be neither funny nor serious. And so you're going to be sitting there looking at this guy like, what is he? Well, all right. I don't know what this is. I think I need another drink. And then, and then I guess I go home, right? And I saw a guy stand on stage, and he just talked. And I didn't know if he was serious. I didn't know if he was being satirical. I didn't know, because I understand the difference between these things, right? Good and evil, right? That's really what it goes to. It goes to darkness and light, good and evil, right? We can't understand one half without the other half. And if we don't, then we go home after watching a comedian on stage, and we have no idea if this person was just talking, just saying, well, I got home today and I fed my cat. And then I opened the refrigerator door and I got some milk out of the fridge. And then once I was done with that, I was kind of hungry, and then I decided I didn't want to cook any food, so I decided I was going to order carryout. I got carryout and I ate it. So what? All right? Well, great. I mean, I can't find anything in there that would be, I don't know. There's nothing in there. Nothing in the fridge. Anyway, sorry. Just want to say that. That's ode to satire. Welcome. Midnight, where you are, Ellie Love. It's always, I love seeing Mrs. John and Ellie in the same chat. I don't know, I love seeing all you in the chat, but when I see the pairing of, I know it's going to be a rough ride for me. Yeah, rough ride. All right, it's the witching hour, Glenn. No, you're a Britu. I want to ask the Brits something. Just the Brits. Do you guys, let me ask, and this is strictly for the Brits. Do you guys go out, like, spirit hunting at all? I really want to know that, actually. Do you guys go out looking for ghosts and stuff? I didn't know you were a Brit, Glenn. How would I know? Rough Rider. Glenn, no, I had no idea you were British, man. Okay. Here's why I'm asking that question, okay? I'll tell you the exact reason why I'm asking, right? It's that you guys have such ancient structures there that, like, our histories are nothing compared to each other, right? So, we're talking about the UK, Britain, the British Isles, right? You can Ireland if you'd like, all right? Fuck off. But, but we have such ancient history here. And I wonder in the backyard that I'm sitting in if there's something below my feet that, I don't know, maybe a Celtic hoard of gold. That's the way I think about, sometimes when I think about Britain and Stonehenge and, things like that. I think about, like, man, how much treasure here is underneath this land compared to where I'm sitting, which we're babies. We're babies compared to you guys. We're babies. So I'm thinking, man, what is under that soil? So that's why I'm asking about ghost hunting. I should be asking you about, do you guys ever go out and dig up your yards to find, like, Celtic hoards of gold? I would. I definitely would. Shit. Look, if I lived on a 500-year-old property in the middle of, like, an ancient fucking Britain battle, I'd be digging my ass off. I'd be like, I'm going to find some gold here somewhere. Compared to, I'm stuck in fucking Hoboken, New Jersey. Where the fuck am I gonna go to dig up some fucking gold? I don't know. Where am I gonna go? I guess I can go to the beach. I don't know. But no, I'll just find a bunch of fucking paper clips and fucking, like screws. Like, I ain't gonna find no fucking gold on the beach. No, not New Jersey. All right. And it's not like I'm down in the Caribbean where there's, like, shipwrecks where I could just snorkel down a few feet and find, like, golden doubloons. Fuck! Like, where am I? I'm not in either of these places where I can hunt for treasure. So I guess I'm kind of fucked, actually. Hey, you wanted the best, you got the best. All right, baby. Now we talk about treasure hunting woes. Fuck yeah, man. If I had the time, I'd be scanning the fucking ocean floor for fucking gold doubloons. I mean, can you imagine being on the ocean floor and finding a bar of gold like that weighs 2 pounds, I'd freak out. I'd be like, why? Because I could just see right there, like 2 feet in front of me, there's another gold bar just sitting in the sand. I'd be freaking out. I'd take those gold bars and I'd shove them in my scuba fucking gear so nobody could take them from me. That's the shit I'd be doing. I mean, really. You find 2 gold bars in the sand, you're shoving those fucking gold bars in your fucking scuba diving suit, baby. And when you get to the surface, it's going to take you about 3 hours because you're loaded down, okay? But listen, when you get to the surface, you're like, I didn't find nothing. All right? And then like, man, you got some bulges in your scuba diving suit. Like, no, I fucking don't. It must be the water that's trapped, right? And then when you privately take off your scuba diving suit, you got 2 fucking massive gold bars. And then you can be like, bye-bye. Fuck off. All right. Anyway, sorry, guys. That was a tangent. That's a tangent. Sorry. I think we were talking about Britain. I think we were talking about Britain. Somehow you guys got me on a boat in the Caribbean. So, well, this is the garden. Welcome, garden. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, I appreciate it very much. Jesus Christ. See, as above, so below. Master Nature, they weren't asking about any of that shit. That's just you being an idiot and going off and, well, you're just being a fucking idiot, actually, and, the garden doesn't care about any of what you just said. That's why that's why we're staging an intervention now, Messenger. Look, it's either you or Donna. We can't have it any other way here. It's gonna be you or Donna. So you have to choose wisely here, and all right. Oh, well, actually, there's a third choice. There's a weird-looking lady who has a really nice tapestry background, and, well, she's not that horrible-looking, actually. And so we're gonna look at her, and stare at her, and, I think you're gonna be cut out of the deal, Master Nature. Oh. Yeah, I mean, the candle's nice and all, but man, she has a really nice tapestry behind her, and it's much prettier than the candle. And she claims to be a psychic too, so I think you're shit out of luck. No, I'm serious, Master Nature. You are definitely shit out of luck on that. Look, the garden wants to stare at a tapestry. They don't want to stare at a fucking candle, okay, from, like, that's $16 from some fucking random flea market somewhere that you picked up in Hoboken, New Jersey, all right? Right. You walk through a ghost once. I should be paying attention to my chat. You walk through a ghost once. Interesting. What did that feel like to you? What did that feel like to walk through a spirit? What did it feel like? Well, hey, if you share your story, I'll share a story of mine. How's that? Oh, okay. Oh, I know I am. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it a lot. I haven't given up on the idea. I haven't given up. I'm playing with it, It's like this. I know you guys don't need to send me nothing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's a nice thought. That's all. Yeah. I'm playing with it. Yeah. Well, I told you this, I've told you this. I told maybe you and a couple other people this, but, I don't even feel comfortable with like having some sort of membership thing. I don't even feel comfortable with that, really, to be honest with you. I told you that before. A couple of you, I know I told you I am, and I told a couple of you. I don't even feel comfortable really with that. So, yeah. It's still there, but it's like, every time it's there, I'm like, yeah, I start to really question it. So, it's one of those things. It's like, I can get really nitpicky with it in my brain, and I look at the size of I could look at the size of everything here, but every time I do that, it always comes out to be this kind of the same feeling that I have about it. The feeling doesn't necessarily change. Yeah, my rationale and reasoning changes, all right? But then the outcome is my feeling doesn't change very much. So, that tells me something, right? So usually it's the other way around, right? Usually we ignore the feeling first, and then we go with our logic and reasoning. That's fine, right? But you can't do that all the time. So that doesn't fit every situation. You have to include your emotion in circumstance, but you have to know when to do that and when not to do that. That's emotions are going to be your how do we explain this? Emotions are going to be your dynamite. They are going to be your dynamite. However, you have to be reserved in using the dynamite. You can't use the dynamite in every situation that has an emotional attachment. You got to refrain from using all the dynamite, right? Yes, you have to refrain. You have to have reserve. Yeah. You can't. Look, emotion is your strongest weapon. It always will be. But you have to know how to reserve your weapon. And that's where a lot of people get messed up here. You have to be able to be patient and reserve emotion. Yeah. Because you're not going to waste your strongest artillery against something, that is provoking that. Because if you do, you're going to deplete yourself. You are. So we got to save that shit. Yeah, we do. And then we use it. And when we do use it, right? When we do use it, it's much more effective. Right? It is definitely much more effective. So just something to ponder there about emotion. Strongest weapon, but you have to be careful on how you use it. You can use it and destroy things. Sure, that may be the purpose of it. But even if that's your motive to use your emotion to destroy something, you still have to have reserve. Because you're going to deplete yourself pretty quickly. The saying, even when people who like to kill people. If we're talking a Koberger, right? Somebody we're trying to paint as a lone wolf, right? There still has to be some reserve. There has to be. Or else we deplete all our energy. And then what? But none of that makes sense here in this case. If I'm expending an extreme amount of energy to do something, right? Let's say I have an extreme abundance of energy to kill 4 people, right? I have energy to do that, right? And then I do it. Then I have the energy, though, to drive, right? After I just kill 4 people, and I don't kill a 5th person that I should have killed, which is Dylan Mortensen. I guess I didn't have energy for that. However, I had energy to drive another 1 hour and a half around Moscow, all the way up into through Washington, right? I had enough energy to do that, and I had enough energy to take a quick shower, get back in my car, and go to Costco, right, where I'm seen on camera. I had energy to do all these things, but I didn't have enough energy to kill Dylan Mortensen. Are you out of your mind? People in denial. Sometimes you get hit, you don't even know it. I just hit you in the face with a fucking hammer. You didn't even know it. See? Well, he let Dylan Mortensen live because he didn't have enough energy to kill her. But he has enough energy to go on an hour and a half drive somewhere, stay awake, don't hit anything, and then he has enough energy to make a quick stop back at his apartment, shower for about an hour. He gets out of there, and now we're on to Costco. Yeah, all within the span of 3 hours, right? 3 hours. That would be generous. 4 hours. That's a generous time. So don't tell me this fucking character doesn't have the energy to slaughter Dylan Mortensen in her doorway. Don't you fucking even tell me that, okay? Dylan should have died. If this was a real case, Mortensen should have died. There's no way around it. Morbid, fuck you, I don't care. With a case like this, Dylan Mortensen is dead. She is dead, and she is dead. She is in her doorway dead, or she is in her fucking bedroom dead. Either way, she's dead. Ain't no way around it. Mortensen is... Brian Kohlberger, the maniac, is not going to look at her and decide not to slaughter her. No, not with that energy pumping through his veins. Fuck. Look, he could have killed her and still driven an hour and a half around, still done the same things. It would have made no difference to him. What? Okay, so he doesn't drive an hour and a half. He drives an hour and 10 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not much difference. So anyway, that's my first point in this video. Don't tell me that Brian Kohlberger wouldn't have the energy to kill Dylan Mortensen. I don't want to hear that nonsense anymore. I don't want to hear it. It's complete farce. Yeah, because if he didn't have the 5-minute energy to kill her, that would have been absolutely easy. Okay, right? She would have been probably the easiest one to kill. If she's totally out of it and out of her mind, right? She's drunk. She would have been the easiest one to kill, supposedly, according to her. But he doesn't. All right. But anyway, it would take you about 5 minutes to just stab her in the neck, stab her right there in the room, and just walk right out the sliding glass door. I mean, really? It wouldn't be that hard of a lift. Especially not when I'm going to do all these other things later. Fuck no. I got so much energy. It is blowing through the house. That's how much energy I got. And that energy doesn't take a pause for 5 minutes to ponder things. That energy is going to still blow through that house. And it's going to blow through you. And you're going to be next in my energy whirlwind here. And that should have been Dylan Mortensen. There's no way around it. That should have been Dylan. However, that wasn't Dylan. That's because Dylan knows who did this. There's no other logical way around this. Dylan Mortensen knows exactly who committed this crime. She knows exactly the perpetrators here. There is no other way around it. There isn't. You can play all the mind games you want with each other, but we can deduce it down to that simple fact. People don't want to accept that fact, but when you deduce it down to that level, there's only so many options you have. And there aren't any more in this scenario. There are no more options. None. Anyway, that's the prelude. And we're going to take a quick fucking break, and we'll get back to what we're talking about. Right. Yeah. So, we're staying on the rails for now, right? Staying on the rails. Now, we'll go off them eventually. Don't get me wrong. But for right now, we're on. Oh, yeah. Code bothers me. We can talk about the code again. We talked about the code 7-8 months ago. We talked about that code. What makes that code very odd, and I'll say this again. I said it 8 months ago. What makes that code odd is that there's no follow-up from Eric Gower. That's what makes it odd. Yeah. And, there's a lot we can get into with the code. We already been through the code here. Old guard, new guard, and we've already been through the code. So, it's this. And because I'm the one that fucking started it, all right, I know more about it. Well, I don't know if I started it, but I was pretty early on it. Yeah. I don't think I started it. I was early on it. 2 ways to go with the code. There's 2 ways you can go with it. One, it gets a little harder because, it depends which way you want to go. You could say, there's 2. The initial thought on the code was, right? This is not what I want to talk about, but whatever. The initial thought on the code was, right, that, at least my thought was, that Kaylee and Maddie, they were still driving around. And that would buy Dylan time to do what she was doing before they arrived home. That was the first theme of the code. Second theme was, well, if Dylan Mortensen says that Kaylee and Maddie were home, and that's when she texted the Uber driver, well, then that's a little different. Is it still a code? Maybe. Because that text string is still bizarre. There's no follow-up. That's what makes it difficult, because there's no follow-up. Right? Are you still driving? Yes, I'm still driving. There's no follow-up to that. No. Well, yeah, right, we've been through this. Yeah, what do you want? Why are you texting me? Oh, no reason. Whatever. We're thinking about getting some grub truck food. There's none of that. There's no follow-up. So we don't know when Dylan is talking about this, we don't know if Dylan is actually telling the truth, because there's no backup on the text messaging. That's the problem. Then you have to take her word for it. Right. Which is no, you can't. So, yeah, anyway. So it's still a code. It could be still a code, even though that Kaylee and Matt are now home. It could still be a code. I haven't ruled that out yet. I don't know. Because it's still too vague for me. That text messaging exchange is too vague for me. It is. It's hard to get around. It's not impossible to get around, but it's difficult to get around in certain ways. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so that's the prelude, love. We'll get into Act 1. That's a little off the wall, but I think there's tangents there that you're following. And yes, I you know what? I don't really care. I think we all need to go ghost hunting in fucking England. I think that's the whole point of this. I think that is really the bottom line. We all have to go ghost hunting in fucking England. I'm 100% sure we should do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Yep. I think that would actually be quite amazing. That would be awesome. That would be actually amazing. I think we should do it, I'm like, okay, how can we arrange this? Welcome, Dame Athos. Welcome, Lord. All right. Welcome, Sick Sad World. And tomorrow it should be Sick, no, not so sad world after Masternature. All right. You're like, fuck yeah. It's still gonna be a sick, sad world, asshole. I don't need you in my life. All right. I just want you to contemplate it. That's all. Jesus. Yeah, but I'm not ready for you. All right. I'm thinking we should start at the what's the name of that? I want to start at the Ram's Head Inn. That's where I want to start. Where's the Ram's Head Inn? Right? That's what it's called, Ram's Head Inn, right? It's like 400 years old and shit. That's where all the witches live and shit. Right? Or the incubus, the succubus and incubus shit. I want to go there first. That's the first place I want to go over there. I'm not sure what town that is. Essex? Is that in Essex or what? Where is that? Where's that fucking place? The Boar's Head Inn, some shit. Anyway, it's a really old tavern there. It's like ancient tavern where they found bones and shit in the basement, and there's a incubus and succubus there. I want to go there first. What's the name of that fucking place? It's called like the Boar's Head Inn or like the Ram's Head Inn, right? That's the name of the fucking place, the Ram's Head Inn. Right? That's it. That's in England. The Greyfriars Cemetery, that's the second place. That's in Scotland. The Greyfriars Cemetery, that's the second place. That's in Scotland. That's true. That's another place we have to go to. It's the Greyfriars Cemetery in Scotland. That's a really scary fucking place from what I understand. Like, real scary. Not the kind of place you want to hang out at, but that's why we should go. Right? Edinburgh. Look, the Greyfriars Cemetery is Edinburgh, Scotland. Correct. That's the second place we need to go. I agree with that. Right? Yeah, I think we should go there. That should be second on the list, actually. Second. Yeah, Loach. No, Laura. No. Look, I'm gonna have to pull it up now, and I'm gonna have to now pull it up here, okay? After a quick smoke break. Yeah, like I wasn't really planning on coming on. I was hanging out by my rock and tree, and well, then like I don't know, like I got a call, and I'm like, alright, I should show him, fuck them all, and man, MD, you alright? Yeah, I'm just detoxing from that fucking the spirit dust that I had yesterday. Oh, you lied to me. You said you weren't having it in there. You fucking lied to me, you fucking man. No, I'm still walking it off here, and Mrs. John, don't hold it against me, and I'm trying to be a better butterface. Mrs. John, don't hold it against me. I'm trying to be a better butterface, but I keep falling short of expectation. Well, I think it's because I have a butterface, and I don't know. How do I? Maybe I go to the plastic surgeon and I say, hey, plastic surgeon, I have a butterface, and he says, yeah, you do have a butterface, and I say to the plastic surgeon, well, how do I get a margarine face instead of a butterface? He says, well, I don't know if that's possible. Okay. All right. Good night. So glad to have you all here, and boy, isn't he a peach? Wow. Sounds like a complete asshole. Hey, jeez. Well, that's what I keep telling you, but you don't fucking listen to me, you fucking slave driver. You are a fucking slave driver, man. How the fuck do you even exist? I don't fucking know. Can we tell them the story? Nah, we better get on with the case. Alright. I mean, it could go 50-50, but yeah, but Frank's not here. Well, where'd he go? He left the case. Jeez, didn't you know that? Frank left the case. Well, I didn't know that. Jesus. Where'd he go? Away from you, asshole. Far away. Jesus, Frank. Well, I'm sorry. I thought we worked a good case together. I don't fucking know. Hope you like that one. All right, let's get on. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, everybody I missed. This is Act 1. I hope you like the prelude. Yeah, welcome, everybody. Everybody I missed. We're talking about ghost hunting and... What's your favorite? What's your favorite? Welcome, White Rabbit. Welcome, White Rabbit. Aye, good to see you. I feel White Rabbit is probably like satire in a way, so this is my ode to White Rabbit. White Rabbit, I know you run very fast away. I understand you do this every day. All right. Though I chase you, I often wonder, why do you run so far away from me? Then I have to stop and ponder, well, maybe if I stood still, the White Rabbit would just stand still. And it actually does. The White Rabbit stands still, and I don't do anything, right? Or I stand still, and the White Rabbit stands still. So I'm thinking, White Rabbit, maybe we just don't chase each other. I don't fucking know. That's my ode to White Rabbit. I don't fucking know. There you are. And then the White Rabbit says to me, you finally fucking understood what I've been trying to tell you for the past fucking millennia. Yeah. I took you all this fucking time to get it. Jesus. My legs are fucking tired because of you. Jesus. You prick. All right. Right? Jesus. And then you know what happens? You know what happens, guys? The White Rabbit fucking starts calling me. No. That's not the premise. No. But then, like, I get this kind of stuff. I get, like, hate mail. Look, no, it's not hate mail. It's not hate mail. It's like, well, Tyrone, how would you describe this? Now, I have to give this time. Tyrone, how would you describe what I'm going to show? Well, Master Nature, it's like, how do I put this? Well, you're honky. And like, well, well, you are. And well, when you get stuff sent to you like this, well, how do I dumb it down here? Well, how do I dumb it down here? Well, this is what we call, I don't know, I don't know how to describe this, actually. It's like having balls. No, it's like this. It's like having balls. Like, not like your kind of, not like white balls, but it's more like having black ball. And like, and then it's almost like we're kind of making fun of ourselves, with our black ball. But we're definitely making fun of you. All right. Like, we're definitely making fun of your white balls. Uh, because we have black ball, but we're kind of making fun of our own black ball too. So your whatever like balls we're talking about, like you're totally out of the mix. Like your white ball, like totally like because well you know what I mean. Well cue ball. I'm sorry, not white ball, cue ball. And well because of the cue ball, you know what I mean. You're automatically out of the equation here, but then we still make fun of you in a sense. But then we're like we're trying to be self-deprecating. So I don't understand it. But here it is. But I think the hoes understand it. I think the hoes understand it. Look. That's right. That's right, baby.
Yeah, 10 straight years I've been running these streets and ain't an out of line hoe in this whole town that I ain't beat. Yeah, you know, bitch best be giving up my money, working that pussy and not trying nothing funny.
That's right.
Cause I'm a man that ain't afraid to use them hands. A bitch get to acting up and I'll be slapping hard as I can. See my name be sweet back Willie David, but when a hoe get to acting real shady, that's when they call me by another name lady. Yeah, they call me Captain Smack the hoe.
All right, let's go.
A whole best be working that snatch, jumping on a brick and collecting me my paycheck.
All right, let's go, love.
And I ain't afraid to throw some blows. Yeah, bitch, you wanna tussle? I'm a man that don't get ruffled. 10,000 smacks and I'm still running this hustle.
All right, let's go, love.
Yeah, you know, sweet back, don't throw no bone. You lose $1 and your ass ain't never going home. Cause baby, I'm the MVP of this whole slapping game. You fuck around and use in for some straight pain. These streets all know my name. But when a hoe's bullshit be taking it to that next level, my alter ego be coming out, and that's when that face getting straight leveled. Yeah, they come.
All right.
Shacked out, and I'm throwing them elbows. A whole best be working that snatch, jumping on a brick and collecting me my paycheck. Yeah, they call me Captain Smack the hoe. A be a hoe, and I ain't afraid to throw some blows.
All right, I don't know, Masternature.
10,000 smacks, and I'm still running this hustle.
Well, yeah, maybe, but you ain't doing that. What the fuck? All right. Man, Masternature, you totally misjudge your fucking audience there. What is wrong with you? My God. Sorry, lady. He has no idea what he's doing, lady. He has no idea. Like, you gotta be smooth with that shit. You can't just be slowed on you can't be thrown on a fucking whole track. Oh, my God. What is wrong with him? I tell you what. My God, lady. I can't believe you even fucking you put up with this shit. I really don't. All right. All right. Wait. We gotta finish this. I gotta finish this, guys.
And say this just doesn't make sense.
We gotta finish this
I
one
think we all
real
want to
quick.
know that we can identify the evil that walks among us. And when you look at that video, I mean, I feel for the Costco greeter who brushed up against that horror and didn't know it. I feel for the cashier who was standing right in front of that man and didn't know how dangerous that person was. I feel for the people with their groceries walking right past him, having no idea how close they came to evil among our flock, you know?
Sorry, guys.
And it gives me the willies. I wanted to ask you a little bit about this new report that came out that
Lime
that
green
Brian
shirt.
Koberger signed this plea deal just days after learning that his sister was going to be on the prosecution's witness list. Did it surprise you, or did that give you insight at all?
No, I don't really believe that causation is correlation there. I think that the plea deal was a long time coming. I think that probably what had more of an impact on the plea deal being taken was the fact that the alternate perpetrator argument was struck down. They wouldn't be able to take that into the courtroom. So that door closed. They didn't have any more to open up. Time was winding down. I think it had very, very little to do with his sister being on that prosecutor's list.
True.
Steve, what do you think the prosecution thought
True.
it would get from putting Amanda on the stand?
There's been a long backstory of things that have been suggested that she, I think that there was people believe that she had seen him with a knife personally.
Oh.
I think that would have been something that would have came up in talking about the murder weapon.
Okay.
Dating, even moving out here, would be very damning to their case. And I don't think they were able to ever give a replacement for what was missing. So the time was running out, and even having his family and all those people, that probably didn't help to remind him.
Hey guys, I just want to say this. Do you know how easy it is to buy a fucking knife? It's pretty fucking easy. Like, I can walk into my local fucking, my grocery store up here. I can walk in and buy any fucking K-bar knife. There's K-bar knives all over the fucking place. I'm serious. Look, I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere within a radius of my place. I don't know, like 10 to 15 miles at most, and I can pick up a K-bar knife. It ain't going to be that difficult. I could pick up a K-bar knife pretty much a lot of places. They're not that fucking, I mean, we're not talking fucking, you know what I'm saying? If you live in a semi-populated area, you're going to find a K-bar knife. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe that's just my experience here. I could be totally wrong about that. But it's not like we're talking about finding plutonium. Like, we're talking about the knife, or at least in this little clip, you know, like the knife is some sort of fucking plutonium that you can rarely ever get that. You know, look, I can get the same knife. Fucking, I mean, how are you going to know? You're not going to know. Right? So what? By the way, a lot of knives cause those types of injuries. It doesn't have to be a K-bar knife. It could be a different knife. You know, just because you supposedly have a K-bar knife sheath, well, that doesn't mean the weapon that was used was a K-bar knife. That doesn't mean that. It just means you found a sheath. Right? I mean, logically, you're going to say, but you have to say to yourself, just because we found a K-bar knife sheath doesn't mean a K-bar knife was actually used in the commission of the crime. It could be just a sheath. I could have shot you in the fucking head. Right? I could have taken out my tomahawk axe and fucking cut your head off. Oops. Or, right, I could have gone in there with a pair of fucking garden shears. Yeah, and I could have used those on you. They're all gonna cut you, right? They're gonna create gaping wounds on you. And how the fuck are you gonna tell the difference? You're not. You're not gonna tell the fucking difference. You're not gonna tell the difference. No way. Not if the wounds are that bad. Not if the wounds are that extensive, where, you know, it could be anything, it could be any sharp instrument that caused this. I mean, then we're all pissing in the wind here. We're all pissing in the wind. That's what we're doing. We're just pissing in the wind. Because if I am that badly damaged, look, you're not going to know for sure what actually, I mean, there'll be several sharp-edged instruments that could be used to slice me up. You're not going to know beyond a certain point. You're not going to fucking know. You're going to take a guess, okay? But that is going to be completely erroneous. I mean, once you're that badly gone, I mean, you're not going to tell the difference between an axe strike, between a tomahawk, you know, between a fucking knife. I mean, how are you going to figure out? I'm just saying. Maybe you can from certain strikes, maybe, if there's a couple of them that don't match or whatever. But if it's that disfigured, I mean, how are you going to really pin it down to a fucking instrument? I think that would be almost impossible to me. That would be, just because you have a knife sheath doesn't mean, right, that a K-bar knife was actually used in the commission of the crime. That's a logical, that's a fallacy here. You got to be careful of that. You cannot make that jump. That's a logical fallacy. You cannot make that jump. You have to prove the knife. And you can't prove the knife in this case. You can't prove the knife. So that's another conundrum with this case. In fact, that's another reason why this case should have went to trial. Because the knife, the conundrum with the knife, there is a great conundrum here with the knife here. And there are other knives in this case, not just the murder knife. We don't even know what that is necessarily. People are saying it's a K-bar knife. Well, I don't know. How about it's a steak knife from the kitchen? I mean, I got a steak knife sitting at on the beer pong table looking at me, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how do I know that's not part of the murder weapons here? I have no idea. All I know is I see a knife on the beer pong table, right? All right. And I got supposedly 4 murder victims who were stabbed. And that's the only knife that I see that was a part of the crime scene. Gee, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I think I would arrest the guy who had the knife in his hand. It's ludicrous. You don't know. That's the thing. In that moment, Moscow, you fucking reptilians, you are not psychics. Oh my God. But here you have somebody in the house with a knife in their hand. They show you the knife. They tell you they put the knife down on the floor. And then they tell you they picked the knife back up and put it on the beer pong table. And from what you're seeing of Xana and Ethan dead, they were stabbed. And you got a knife that's 30 feet from you on the table, and you don't fucking think about it? Like, you don't put 2 and 2 together? You're like, wait a minute, the guy who showed me the crime scene, he might have stabbed these people to death. You know? He's the guy with the knife. Fucking morons. People, I'm sorry, Garden. People in denial. You're fucking morons. Really? You're morons. I mean, what other case can you think of where, a person is in a house with a knife where there's 4 people killed by knives and there's nothing happens to them? I've never heard of such a thing. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, it's so ludicrous to think about it. My God. Ludicrous. I mean, Moscow. Give me a break. I mean, if you needed a director, you could have given me a call, baby. Give me a call, baby. Jesus Christ. It's ridiculous. You don't know how to act. You don't know how to film scenes properly. It's really bad. It's really fucking bad. Give me a break. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. God damn. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Why don't you get on to the real thing? What do you mean we have Act 2? Yeah, Act 2, you fucking asshole. All right, Act 2, Act 2. Great, thanks. Act 2, my loves, lads, lols, and dudes, sugars, sugar lily. Sugar mountain, mountain on the moon. My mountain lilies and laurels, my golden hyacinths, oh, they are all there. All the lilies of the garden. Where the dudes, sirs, welcome. And where are my comments when I need them? What, you can't scroll, asshole? No, I can't. Welcome, Creamy Row. Welcome, Les Awake. All right. I want to get on to this. Language. How we say things. Documents. How things are worded. I want to show you this, and then we'll take another quick break. And, of course, I'll put a tune on there, and, well, whatever. Or we take a quick break now, and you say, you fucking asshole. And then we go through this. Interesting. Now, this is a very long document, 126 pages. It is the lawsuit complaint that was filed on behalf of the four families. I think it's important to read through some of it. At least the first couple pages, because I'm already getting tripped up on language within the first 1 or 2 pages of this document. So we're not going to go too far beyond that, right? This will be a 12-hour live. But I think we should go through the first couple pages, because the language is very... the language bothers me. Language bothers me here. And I feel if I was defending against this shit, I feel maybe I have a defense because of the language. And maybe if I was a hothead and I had all the money in the world, I would probably take a shot at this one just because I'm already burned up within the first 1 or 2 pages. But I'd be a hothead, though, taking that on. But I'd really want to. And I'll show you why. Show you why. Now, if I was a hothead, you know. Well, Master Nature, well. No, I know it's a little early, but, I mean, you told the Lily, about my $59.95 promotion, right? You told the Lily, right? Oh my God, Tara. Can you just give it a rest for a fuck? Well, you know, I have fans out there, Master Nature, and, well, they you know, they restless sometime, and, you know, I'm just saying they're restless, and, like, you know, they're only because they want to know when the next thing's dropping. See? They're not restless for any other reason. I'm just saying. You know, because well, I get killed for that shit. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm already spirit, so we don't have to worry about that, actually. Well, yeah. Hey, Master Nature, I thought it through just a little bit. All right. Yo, I am your executive decision-making power up here in your shit show of a spiritual realm of fucking weird-ass fucking, like, Sideshow Bob, like, when we go to the carnival, like, from 1982, we still see fucking like Heroin Bob behind the fucking curtain. I had to pay 25 cents to see Heroin Bob. And I'm like, what is it? It's supposedly a kid who got so fucked up on heroin, he looked like a fucking outer space alien. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm paying 25 cents to see that shit. Weird. Well, they let me in there. I'm like, where's Heroin Bob? And they point to a figure on the fucking ground, and it looks like an emaciated fucking person. Never mind. That's for a whole other day. Heroin Bob. All right. At the sideshow at the carnival. All right. There you are. Hey, there you go. You know what I'm talking about. Heroin Bob. It was like Animal Boy, something like that, right? Animal Boy, something like that. Animal Boy. All right. Werewolves of fucking London. All right, baby. Werewolves of London, baby. Boy. What's playing on you? Yeah. Well, fuck off. Fuck off. All right. Where are we? American Horror Story. Love that show. Love that show. Love that show. Sorry. American Horror Story. I love that show. Freak Show is good. I like Freak Show. I got my favorite season, though, of that American Horror Story. I have my favorite season. Bethany Funk is the Hobbit. Bethany Funk is always the Hobbit. Bethany Funk wants nothing to do with nothing. Smart. Bethany Funk, she's not stupid. She's actually, if you think about it, Bethany Funk and her family are doing the exact thing you should do when you think about it. Keep your mouth fucking shut. That's actually what you should do in a situation like this. Keep your mouth shut. Think about it. Funk and her family have kept their mouth shut. They haven't said a fucking word. Smart. Actually. Think about it. And that, hey, Glenn, that could be due to lawyers. Yeah, they're not stupid. Whether it's like lawyer, right, coming from the lawyer, hey, shut your mouth. Or, they already know that and they already got a lawyer, doesn't matter, right? Still, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Yep. Well, she may be fearful. There's what, and then okay, she may be fearful. Let's think about that, right? She may be fearful. Why fearful? Right? Because she is the one who has separated herself from all this. So then you have to ask yourself, well, why then is there separation like this from what was going on in the case, to the very end? No appearances anywhere. Well, whatever. At least not spontaneous. Right? But, well, I don't know. But anyway, the point is, Funk walled herself off from this. She walled herself off from this. More than any of the other families involved. Well, Dylan's family, don't get me wrong. Dylan's family is not necessarily out there either. Now, Dylan herself was, because she showed up there for the fucking sentencing, but excuse me, or the victim impact. Yeah. Look. Yeah, that's true. She is true. She went home for Thanksgiving and she never returned. True. Never came back. She stayed in Nevada, period. That was what she did. She stayed there, didn't move. She didn't leave. She didn't fly back to Idaho, as far as we know. She didn't go back there at all for anything. That says something. That says something. It does. Compared to everybody else. I think with Bethany, that's the thing. Here's what you had to do. This brings up a good point, and we all know this. We've talked about this many times here. Between 11:16 Bethany Funk or 11:17 Dylan Mortensen, between these two interviews, you have to arrest one of them. You have to. Whether you choose Bethany Funk on 16 or Mortensen on 17. It doesn't really matter. But you have to take one of them. You do. Yeah, especially, if you want to go based just on the interview itself, I guess we take Dylan, because Dylan is not making any sense during her interview on 11:17. Her interview on 11:17 is absolutely horrible. It doesn't. None of it makes sense. The coherency is horrible. And again, so if you maybe then you take Dylan. You take Dylan on 17. You take her in. Because again, her story is it is manic. It is off the wall. Her thinking process, her logic, there's nothing there. It's as if somebody who is coked up, hyped up, is just rattling off a fucking strings of thought, and it's like, I don't know. But anyway, I wouldn't take a chance on that. I wouldn't. Not in this case. I'd be like, you know what? I think here's what I would probably do in this situation. I would definitely hold her, but I would kind of do it under a different guise. I'd be like, well, we feel that hey, look, you're not under arrest, okay? You're not under arrest, right? But we feel that there's some information that we still need, and we would want you to enter into a 72-hour hold for us, okay? Because we don't feel you're, we feel you're too traumatized right now to tell us anything. So we want to kind of put you on a 72-hour hold. Because we feel there's more there from you that we know we need. We got to get from you. Yeah, but we can't just necessarily let you go. Because we feel that, you're a part of this. So we can't really let you go. But we want to still hold you. And how would you do that? Well, we wanna make sure you're okay. 72 hours, supervised. Make sure you're okay. You've been through a lot of trauma, all right? And then we'll watch it. We'll watch you for 72 hours. Right? Make sure you're all right. But then we bring you back in. Let's try it again. I would do something like that. And yes, police departments do have the power to do that. Police departments have a lot of power. Okay? More than you think. And so, yeah, I could always do that against somebody who I feel I should not let go, but I really have no reason to hold them necessarily. That's what I would do. It's dirty, but you can do it. It's dirty, but you can do it. If you're not sure about somebody, all right, it's dirty, but that's what you have to do, though. And if you need to buy time on somebody, you pull shit like that, because you may be my suspect, and I don't want you walking out of this building, because I don't want to fuck up. Because if I let you out of this building and you decide that you're going to get coked up and high again and murder 6 other people, well, then I'm fucked. I ain't going to do that. Because I don't know you that well. I don't know you that well, Dylan Mortensen. And I really, based on the things that you're telling me today, I don't know you at all. Actually, I think you're in outer space here. And I don't trust that. I mean, you're talking nonsense most of the time. I don't know what you fucking did. And you even say to me, I'm not even sure what I did. And when I hear that, I need to arrest you immediately. Because you are telling me I may have killed my friends. But I'm not quite sure about it. Because I'm not sure what was a dream or what wasn't a dream. And that's why I'm going to arrest you, Dylan Mortensen. Because if you can't distinguish between reality and fantasy, you could have killed your friends. Yeah, plain and simple. Sorry. But that's what you just told me. You can't distinguish between what is real and what is not real. Right? Well, then in your killing spree, how do I know that, you didn't think it was okay? You could have been on another planet, killing your friends. And you don't know, because you don't know what's real or what's not. So I'm definitely going to have to fucking arrest you until we figure out what is going on here. Because I can't rule you out now. I cannot rule you out. All right? Look, she essentially says, I cannot tell you I didn't make this whole entire thing up in my head. She tells you that. I mean, what else do you need? To not arrest her on 11/17? I mean, I don't know what else you would need here. I don't. She's telling you. There is no way that I will know what I'm telling you is actually true or not. Because I don't know what was real or what was not real that night. Right? She tells you that. Point blank. Point blank. From this camera to the candle. Point blank, she tells you that. And so how can you not arrest her on 11/17? You have to arrest her. Moscow, Idaho, you're disgusting to me. That is not an investigation. It's ridiculous. Look, your prime suspect is telling you she is Alice in Wonderland. She is telling you, my name is Alice in Wonderland. And that's a problem. Right? Jesus Christ. Look, if I met Alice in Wonderland face to face, I'd be like, well, there's probably something really weird going on here that I should pay attention to. You know, something. Like, Alice in Wonderland just doesn't walk into your police station very often. Like, never. Right? I mean, you're like, well, where have you been? Right. I've been down the rabbit hole. Well, tell us about the rabbit hole. I saw wondrous things. Right? Yeah. Like, I saw people getting murdered and, like, cards being chopped in half. Yeah, I mean, look, if you got Alice in Wonderland stepping into your fucking office, yeah, I'd pay attention to it. Just saying. She is not in trauma. Hey, I'm just saying. Alice in Wonderland, Alice was never in trauma, by the way. Just saying. Hey, Alice was never in trauma. Look, hey, we should go back and read Alice in Wonderland together. But Alice was never in any trauma. She went through a lot of weird shit, but she was never traumatized. No. She just like went with the flow. You know what I mean? That's the cool thing about Alice in Wonderland, right? She's like, well, I'm just gonna fucking go with it. All right? Like, I know where I am, I think. I'm not in trauma though, right? I see a fucking caterpillar and shit. I see somebody asking me which direction I want to go in. I'm not traumatized by that, right? It may be a fucking weird-ass fucking creature, but I'm not traumatized. Yeah. Which way do you want to go? Oh, we're thinking about the question. I don't know, maybe this way. Right? But I'm not traumatized by the figure asking me the question. That's not Alice in Wonderland. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah. So it's Dylan is not in Wonderland here. Right? There's Dylan is the same thing here. There's no trauma. There's no trauma with Dylan Mortensen. No trauma. Interesting. The problem is, here's the problem. We're too assertive. We're too assertive in our narrative. We're way too assertive in our narrative. But however, we have the worst memory in the entire fucking world. These two tones, they don't go with each other. So I can't be assertive in what I'm saying when my other tone of voice is saying, but I'm a drunk fucking mess that doesn't remember anything. These two tones of voices don't go together. And that's Dylan Mortensen. One tone of voice is this. I'm assertive in what I'm assertive. The other tone of voice is, but I'm a crazy fucking maniac. No. I'm a person who can't remember reality from fantasy. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm telling you is real or what's not. So those are two totally different tones of voices. All right? All right. And that's what makes you her prime suspect. That's what makes her the prime. She will always be the prime. She is the gatekeeper. She's always been the gatekeeper. We talked about that months ago. Months and months ago. She is the gatekeeper. She is the gatekeeper. She is the only one who drives the story. In certain pieces of the narrative, she's the only one. Nobody else drives the story except her. Except her. You cannot build a timeline around your prime suspect. Brett Payne, Moscow, Idaho State Police. You cannot build your timeline around your prime suspect. You cannot do it. But you did it in this case. And it's an embarrassment. It's horrible. It's really bad writing. Really bad. Really bad. It's really bad writing. Really is. Really bad writing. Look, why is it bad writing? I'm going to tell you why it's bad writing. Here's why it's bad writing. Because Brian Kohlberger, he's the wolf. And we should remember every feature of the wolf, every characteristic of the wolf, what they do, what they say. However, that's not Brian Kohlberger. The real wolf of the story is the roommate or the roommates. Those are the wolves. Especially Dylan. She's the wolf. We know more about her and what her lies are compared to Brian. We don't know anything about it. We have no words for him. No. Just saying. I'm going to show you that the Brett Payne interview there on the documents where they went to interview him on 12/30 at the Pennsylvania State Police Barracks there in Monroe County, where they attempted to interview him, but it wasn't really an interview. It was more like we sit down, introduce ourselves, and then we say something like this. We say, "Do you know why we're here?" And then Kohlberger's like, "Not really. Why are you here?" And they're like, "Well, we're here to blah 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 from the murders and the murders out there, in Idaho." He's like, "Well, I'm not sure. Not sure what you're talking about. Whatever." How I don't know. Do you have a question I can answer for you? And then at a certain point it gets to, well, I'm probably going to have to consult a lawyer here. I'm not sure. I think I need a lawyer. All right, but there's no other probing then past that. It's just like, okay, well, there's nothing else. It's like a 5-minute interview, right? They didn't even try. Nobody really tried to even. Here's the thing. Nobody even tried to bother. Nobody bothers to try to get any more information out of him. Like, come on. Like, you could say things like, "Look, do you know why we're here?" "Yes, I know." "No, I don't." How about this? "Do you know why we're here?" "No, I'm not sure. Why are you here?" "Well, we're here because of the murder in Moscow, Idaho, right? Blah, blah, blah." Okay, right? You tell him that. And then you wait. Does he say anything? Like, well, whatever. I don't know. You could draw this out forever. You'd be like, Did you hear about it? Yeah, I heard about it. So what? Well, that's why we're here. We're hearing because of that incident, right? Then what do you do? You say, well, do I need a lawyer? I don't know. Do I need a lawyer? No. Or, I don't know. But, you know what I'm saying? There's... weird. No, you don't need a lawyer. I mean, a lawyer, I guess. Anyway, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I don't think they even bothered to really try to get information out of him. No. I mean, this guy... Hey, if you get a confession out of this guy... Oh, that would make your life a whole lot easier. I mean, yeah, you could flirt around the lawyer shit a little bit. I think you could flirt around that, But if this is your guy, I mean, I think you could invest a little bit more time into trying to interview him, right? You've come all across the whole entire country, and this is your chance to interview him, and you give up after 8 minutes. I don't think that's really good. Like, look, you travel across right, you got the FBI there. You travel across the country here to be in this moment where you're going to interview Brian Koberger, and then you give up after 8 minutes. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. You put all this time and energy into this, and then you walk away after 8 minutes. Hey, come on. Really, I mean, you don't want to bag this guy, right? You don't want to get him to confess to you. I would, right? I would want him to confess to me. Fucking 8 minutes. 8 minutes is not going to get you anywhere. I mean, these people. That's what I'm saying. You have either the dumbest fucking people in the world doing this stuff, or we really weren't there for any type of confession. I mean, what else are you going to do here? It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. No matter which way you look at it, it's fucking stupid. Look, this is the most important capture of your life, right? You got the big bad wolf. And you'll only spend 8 minutes fucking trying to talk to him? I mean, fuck off. I mean, that to me is so goddamn stupid. It tells me a lot. This is ridiculous. Look, listen to this. You got Ted Bundy in front of you for 4 fucking minutes. Well, do you think you want to keep him there for 4 minutes longer? Absolutely. Look, if you got Ted Bundy in front of you, right, you are going to talk to him about whatever you want. Whatever he wants, you're going to talk to him about. Let's talk about the birds. All right. What about them? Where have you been? How was Colorado? Right? Right? How are the birds? You're going to talk whatever he wants to talk, but you want him to talk. And they didn't do that they didn't do that at all with Koberger. At all. They didn't give a shit about what he said. They did not want to be there. They wanted to get their names on the record, that they tried to interview him and it didn't work. That's what they wanted to do here. They had no intention of hearing what Koberger had to say, what his point of view was. They cut. No. That was never part of the deal here. Never part of the deal. No. Never part of the deal. So that's another piece to this where you got to think to yourself, wait a minute. There's something off here. We don't necessarily like to go into the mud. However, this is another piece where it's like, this is the mud, kind of. Right? Right. It's just like this. It's just like the 911 operator instructing people not to do CPR, but to go get a defibrillator from their house. It's much like that, right? We can go to all these pieces, right? 911 operator, no CPR. We don't do CPR. We ask for a defibrillator. Okay, right? When have you ever last heard that? Again, it goes to those points. There are a million coincidences in this case that are just outlandish. Like, when was the last time you heard a person who was in respiratory distress in a 911 call and the caller doesn't mention CPR? When was the last time you heard that? Probably never. It's probably 1 in a million chance that you would hear that. But yet we hear that in this case. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I heard somebody say defibrillator in an actual sentence, let alone on a 911 fucking call. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you heard somebody use the word defibrillator in a conversation? Just naturally. Like never, right? It doesn't come up. But we do this on a 911 call, right? 911 calls that we never make. Hardly ever. So why am I asking you about a defibrillator on a 911 call? No, we're going to say CPR. Okay. Because that's real. The other part of it, that's not real at all. My God. Do you have a defibrillator? Well, okay. When was the last time you had a plain conversation with somebody you met down the street at the local fucking bar, and somehow the word defibrillator came up in the conversation? When the fuck did the last time that happened? Like never? Like what? Nah, that never happens. Never. So why the fuck am I hearing it in a 911 call? I don't know. It's like somebody threw me back to 1955 on the Jersey Shore, and now I'm suddenly standing on the boardwalk, and I'm getting hit by the tram car, right? Where the fuck did I just go? Defibrillator? You might as well ask me about, I don't know, a fucking, somebody made a stereo component in 1955. Like, that attaches to the fucking, it's not only a television, but it's also a record player. And like, I'll give you the component. I mean, I don't fucking know what it is. But it's definitely not current fucking speech. Fuck. Where are the transistors that blew out of my goddamn ham radio? I mean, I don't know where they are. Probably in your goddamn garage somewhere from like 1975. All right? You didn't even take care of it to begin with, you fucking prick. I mean, fuck off. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right. Oops. Oh, yeah, this is why we signed the petition against you, Masternature. We have fully moved on to, the pretty girl with the tapestry in the background, and, well, we tried to give you a chance, but, the pretty lady with the tapestry in the background, even though she has weird fucking eyes, like lizard ball eyes, and, like, almost like, what was that show called? V, the Alien Takeover V, like that pretty lady, like it was a reptile. Well, she looks just like that, and, V, the final frontier, and that pretty lady psychic who has those tapestries, she has lizard eyeballs. I'm just saying, she has lizard eyeball. It's like V, the final countdown, and she rips her face off, and she's like a really hot girl, but then she rips her face off, and she's a fucking alien and shit like that. V, the final frontier, and do you have a defibrillator? All right. Good night. Well, no, Master Nature, you're actually right. Because when I was flipping through, listen. I know this is a long diatribe, but listen. Look, when I was I was shopping in 1909. Okay, look, listen. So I had me this big fucking Sears catalog in my hand. The Sears catalog in 1909 weighed approximately 14.5 pounds. Okay, that's how big the fucking Sears catalog in 1909 weighed. Well, listen, so I'm flipping through this fucking book. I mean, it's crunching my fucking leg, and I'm like, well, I guess this is what I have to do in 1909 with Sears. So I'm flipping through the fucking catalog, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for something, right? And I'm like, well, damn, they got illustration in the fucking thing. And I'm like, oh, no, I'll leave that for now. I'll leave that for another time. Oh, my God. Ladies, why you do it? Lynn, you the culprit. Lynn, you the culprit. Yeah, I got to say you culprit. Now, there are a couple culprits, you're a culprit. Sometimes we have to go in the Sears catalog, and, I don't know, 1909, shit heavy back then. Shit weighed about 1 million fucking pounds. And then, like, here's what happens. When you get this fucking delivery in the mail, okay, here's what happens. Well, once you get the 1909 delivery in the fucking mail, like, they hand it to you like a brontosaurus burger, and they hand it to you, and your fucking hands fall straight to the fucking ground. And you're like, what is this shit that they fucking sent me? But you have to chisel. Now, look, it's not a real letter. It's not a box, right? You have to chisel off the top of the fucking thing that you got, like a tomb, all right? Like a fucking tomb. And the fucking rock or the goddamn letter, it weighs like 100 pounds. You have to chip that shit off of there. And then when you finally chip the fucking shit off, then you get to the letter, and it's like, where's my rent check, asshole? All right, there you are. Good night from Hoboken, New Jersey. I'll be here every week, love. Lynn, I love you. I think we all need to go to the Scottish Isles and hunt ghosts in the Greyfriars Cemetery. You can't fool me, Captain. Captain, I know what you've done there. I know what you've done. Someone broke into my tomb, asshole.
Yes, but it's time we laid the rest once and for all. The garden is going to do that. That's right. My garden can do anything. Fuck off. Great fire grows. Bye.
Then this means war, Stanley.
All right. Good night. And, it was a good Monday. And we made a lot of friends tonight. We made a lot of friends. And, yeah, but Master Nature, I think you made a lot of enemies. And we're definitely not friends. You did not make any friends at all, actually. Yeah. Okay, hi, Donna.
Donna, oh, I missed you. Oh, yeah, Ashley. Well, we're not doing so good. And, well, let me tell you about, oh, did I tell you about Maisie? Oh, my fucking God. Donna, wait till you hear about fucking Maisie. Oh, yeah, Master Nature, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I'll be there tomorrow. All right, bye. Okay, yeah, no, I won't tell him nothing. All right, bye. All right. Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right. Gotta be careful. Buzzwords. Post-mortem. Buzzword. Gotta be careful. Anyway, I want to show you this. No, not that asshole. Well, you ever seen it. But, to preface things, we're going to do this. I think you like this. We've done this before. So it's nothing new. But I think it's appropriate. And then we'll get on to what I want to show you. Now, we could do this with or without lyrics, but maybe lyrics would be helpful. Because the lyrics are very impactful with this song.
You know, I always find it striking.
No, we aren't going to go to Geico right now. And But, all right. And then we get on to Act 3, love. Act 3 is upon you, love. Act 3. This is a transition. Oh, the interlude. I'm sorry, Creamy wrote. Good. Two separate instances, love. Yeah, love. Hope you like that. All right, let's get on. Always. Let's get on. Act 3. The words. Always document. Force. Always. Mud. nothing. All right. All right. That's right. And then we'll get on to what we're doing. What we're doing. All right. Hooligans around. Hooligans. Oh, God. Two separate instances. Yeah, of course. Of course. All right, let's get on. Gave you the clues. You already have the clues. But let's get on to this. Here's what we're doing. All right. This is, I want to get into some of this language. Yeah. Some of the language. That's what I wanted to do. All right. What is that? Oh, that's my cousin. Sorry, guys. I thought that was a little fly here. All right. That's not a fly. It's your cousin. All right. So this is the lawsuit. All right. All four families. Of course, Steve is in fraud. Of course he has to be. Yeah. But yes, all the families are here represented. Right. Stacy, the only one to be representing Ethan. Stacy. Of course. Okay, Karen, Jeffrey. Okay. What we got? We got Jeffrey and Alexia. All right, so there we are. Let's go. Of course, this is for complaint for damages and stuff like that. And this is where we're going. To the law. That's who they hired. That's where they're from. Check them out. So, I had problems already in the language in the first couple pieces of this. We got the introduction. I want to read this to you a little bit here because I want to show you why I'm irritated about it. So, we got the introduction. We got, this case arises out of the violent assault and murder of 4 University of Idaho students by a Washington State University employee with a known history of threatening, stalking, and predatory behavior. Yeah. Yeesh. Gotta prove that. I don't know about that. Now, I can say that all day, but whatever. That's my first nitpick. Was a violent assault murder. Well, no. Okay. Because he took the plea, which is, look. I'm blaming Ann Taylor for this. Look, you don't take the plea because, why? Because this shit. This is why you don't take a plea. Because now, when I write this, like, well, he's a convicted murderer. Well, now I'm kind of already fucked here. Because I can't get around that. There's no way I can get around the fact that I pled guilty to murder. So I fucked myself here. Ann Taylor, I fucked myself. Anyway, Washington State brought Kohberger to Pullman in the Pacific Northwest to serve as a teaching assistant in the criminal justice and criminology department, while he also worked to obtain a PhD with a study focused on sexually motivated burglars and serial killers. Kohberger was heavily reliant on Washington State, who paid him a salary, provided free on-campus housing, medical benefits, free tuition, and all conditioned on his behavior and subject to being revoked. Fine. That's not unusual. Okay. Look, that's not unusual. Right? You're hired as a teaching assistant in your PhD school that comes with benefits. So this is not unusual. Just saying. This happens all the time when it comes to universities. And not only law degrees, but other degrees. This is not unusual. Just saying. So we're trying to make this seem like this is some sort of weirdness. This is not weird. Yeah. Pullman, Washington is only a few miles from Moscow. Right? Where the University of Iowa is. And the combined area is referred to as the Pullman-Moscow community. Almost immediately upon his arrival to the Pullman-Moscow community, Kohberger developed a reputation for discriminatory, harassing, and stalking behavior, instilling substantial fear among young female students and fellow Washington State University employees, necessitating, you know what it is, regular security escorts for multiple females. Despite receiving at least 13 formal reports of Kohberger's inappropriate, predatory, and menacing behavior, Washington State failed to respond in any meaningful way and allowed Kohberger's escalating behavior to come. Excuse me. Let me read this again. Washington State failed to respond in any meaningful way and allowed Kohberger's escalating behavior to continue unchecked. No, you can't say that. Come on, this is ridiculous. You again. I'm just gonna make this easy. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna cross this part off. Escalating behaviors as continued unchecked. You can't say that. You can't say that. On November 13th, this passage here. Look, guys. Number 4. This passage burned me to fuck. This passage burned me to fuck up. Listen to this. On the 13th, on a foreseeable and, in fact, predictable tragedy occurred when Koberger entered the bedrooms of 4 undergraduate students and violently stabbed them to death. These deaths should not and would not have occurred if Washington State had acted appropriately. Nope. This burned me up. Number 4 burned me up. Number 4 burned me up. Why? Yeah. You can't predict this. That's the problem. This language is the problem, right? You cannot say this. You can't say, and in fact, predictable. No, this is not predictable at all. That's the first problem. Unless, again, you're me and you're a psychic. No. Wrong. Let's read that again. On the 13th, a foreseeable, which means I look into my crystal ball and could foresee this and, in fact, predict this based on my crystal ball, right? Tragedy occurred. So we're saying, right? We're saying Washington State, not only did they have foresight into what was going to happen in terms of a crystal ball, but they used that crystal ball and somehow they knew that Koberger was going to do this. That's the problem, right? Foreseeable, predictable. Now wait a minute, guys. Do you see this card in front of you? Right, this card right here. I want you to predict what this card is going to be. Do it. What do you think this card is going to be? Predict it. Do it. Do it. What card do you think this is? Right, this one. What card is that? Right? That's what we're doing here. We're saying this, right? What's the card? And Washington State already knew what this card was. And it was predictable what this card was going to be. Therefore, Washington State, because they knew everything about this card, they let a fucking murderer kill people. And they should be held responsible for that. I mean, if you really want to boil it down, we can. I mean, that's what it goes to. Can you predict this card? All right? How could you know that this card was going to be, well, the wrong card? How would you know that? How could you know that? So it's a battle of that. It's a battle of, well, you should have been a psychic versus, well, right? It's a battle of psychic versus bad emotion. It's a battle of those two things going on here. It's you're a bad psychic versus we have bad emotion towards you. See? It's a battle of those two wills here. I blame you for not being a good psychic, But I also have bad intentions of why I'm blaming you. So we both have bad intentions here. Yeah, that's what it boils down to. I want to make money and whatever. So that's ludicrous. The lawsuit language already is ludicrous within the first four statements. I can't take it seriously. I can't predict somebody's death. I don't know when they're going to die. And I certainly can't predict who or what would kill them. I certainly can't predict that at all. I mean, can you? I mean, maybe I can. I'd be the greatest psychic in the world. Maybe I am. Well, I did predict 4 deaths, actually. Just saying. I predicted 4 deaths. Welcome. All right, so anyway. Quick break. I'm seeing things brewing here. Things brewing here. Coburger. Yeah. So you know what? We'll carry on with that. I don't like the language already. We're just gonna get. There's 266 fucking pages of that. Anyway, yeah. Of language that is it's language that either A, makes you want to fight. If you had the will and resource, you're going to fight. But if you don't, you're going to be like, I'm so overwhelmed with this garbage that I don't really care what happens here. I really don't. Because it's so ridiculously constructed that it's exhausting to even get through the first fucking paragraph of it. That's the problem. Like, I want to read this shit, but it's like, I get cut up on the first fucking paragraph. I'm like, this sounds absolutely ludicrous already. Fucking ridiculous, like a bad fucking Idaho story that nobody can fucking write. And nobody can write in Idaho. They're all fucking inbred. Oh God, sorry guys, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, it's fuck. Oh my God, I don't know. I just I don't know. I just fucking drove in my car. No. I just drove in my car for about 2.5 hours. Just, oh my God. I was driving around the whole goddamn fucking state of fucking Idaho. Man, 2.5 hours, man. I didn't get home until about, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning. And, I don't know. I decided to take a shower. And I don't know, after taking a shower, I decided I was going to go to the fucking Costco and try to get, I was going to buy some shit there, but I couldn't do it because a fucking lady kicked me out because I didn't have a fucking membership. And then because I was so tired and I didn't have any energy, I decided to go to Albertsons because I was so tired and I had no energy to do anything after killing 4 people. Yeah. Sure. And hey, Dylan, I love you. I love you, Dylan. I love you. You are the luckiest girl in the world. You know that? You are the luckiest girl in the world. But here's the problem. How comes you don't know that? How comes you don't even act like it? How comes you are your own fucking psychopath? I don't understand it. I really don't. It makes no sense to me. Look, I kill 4 people. I'm not running a fucking marathon. Are you kidding? No. I'm going to be sleeping, probably. I mean, I'm certainly not going to be driving around for 2 hours and then go to grocery stores after taking a shower and having no sleep. I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty hopped up, I'd guess. In fact, I'd be so hopped up that I'd probably would have killed Dylan Mortensen. I'm just saying. Jesus Christ. Absolutely. If I was staring right in her fucking face, I would have killed her. Shit, yeah. That would have only taken 5 minutes out of my time. And I could have been bopping down my merry way. And it wouldn't have affected my energy levels at all, actually. In fact, it wouldn't have done anything to them. I still would have been hopped up. Maybe even more. I don't know. But, yeah. So I don't even want to hear that fucking argument ever again. Yeah. And once you destroy that argument, right, then nobody can explain why Dylan Mortensen was left alive. Once you destroy that argument, that other argument gets destroyed. And nobody then, of the people in denial on the opposite side of the wall, they don't know what to say anymore after that. Once you destroy that argument, they really can't. You can't go anywhere else with that. Yeah, you can't. So, yeah, I mean, you can attack Dylan from many sides. You can, but there's certain sides where you attack Dylan Mortensen and the people in denial. They really cannot get you back. There's no way to go with it. There's really not. It's the corner. It's the corner that was painted. So you're just playing in the corner that was painted already. That's all you're doing here. You know what I mean? But still, they can't get out of it. It's like, well, you painted the corner. Okay, I'm just playing within the corner that you painted here, and you still can't get out of it. So we can talk about Dylan Mortensen every day, and we should, But the minute I bring up something that doesn't fit in your corner, right, then you don't know how to respond to it. You really don't, and that's the problem with these people. We've talked about this millions of times. They like to cherry pick information of what they feel is true, but they forget the rest of the information. And so that's why you win the arguments every time, because they don't either A, know what you're talking about, or B, they do, but they don't want to address it. Yeah. So that's the problem with mainstream media, Dylan Mortensen, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, man. We all know this. Just saying. Anyway. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck. Nope. Something like that. Something like that. What time is it anyway? Oh, it's the early show. That's fine. Well, it is the early show. Jesus. God, why is everybody freaking out? The late show. Hey, guys, the late show, I think we need to draw some. Guys, we should draw some cards. Late show cards. Enough of me blabbing on about nothing. All right. Early show, late show. Early show, late show. Okay. I better stay. Better save the rest of Steve for the late show. All right. Steve belongs in the late show. He always belongs in the late show. I don't know why I put him in the early show. It defeats the purpose of things, but yeah. All right. Oh, God. Oh, we'll live with that, I guess. So this is the mid-early show now. Mid-early show. And, there will be a late show. So the teams left out on the show, they carry on to the other show. You're like, fuck off. Just end it. Will you end our misery for once in your godforsaken life?
Pretend like you're holding up the building.
Why you do it? Who cares? Oh my! It's not
magic. It's not delivery. It's
DiGiorno. Oh, lovely. Great. Hey, let's.